In this video, we'll connect data in Tableau desktop and make a few simple plots. For this exercise, I'm using the COVID-19 data from Georgia Department of Public Health. The download link is in the description below. The data comes in CSV file, so I choose text file here and navigate to the folder. And I first import the county cases dataset, which contains a case summary for each county in Georgia. I see a workspace here with the CSV file I just selected and a message, need more data, drag tables here to relate them. On the left panel, there is a list of the other CSV files in the same folder. Many of these tables are linked by the county variable. For example, each row in the death table contains the basic information of the person who passed away with COVID-19, including the county they were in. And each row in like the epi curves or the PCR positive tables contain the number of new cases, cumulative cases, or percentage of PCR tests performed and positive on each day in a certain county. We can create connections here between these tables and county cases, so we can interactively inspect or visualize data by county. So I drag the death table here and I make connection between county name and county. Right. Now that the connection is established, I can drag more tables and also connect them with county cases. So your data might come with a different relational structure and you may have a more complex connection diagram here. Let's now add a worksheet. Click Sheet 1. You see an empty graph. You can drag fields from the data panel on the left to the rows or columns shelves. Let's first create a bar chart showing demographic information of the death cases of COVID-19. So under the table of death, drag sex to columns and drag this last field, death.csv count, onto the rows. That creates a very simple basic bar chart showing the number of deaths among females, males, and small number of unknown sex. You can hover your mouse over each bar to see the tooltip, and you see here there are 6 cases with unknown sex. If you don't want to show this information in the graph, you can select it and click Exclude. Now let's also add race to this chart. Drag race from the data panel to columns. Now for each sex, we are breaking the number down to different races. But what if we want to more easily compare, say, Asian males and Asian females? You can reorder dimensions here, dragging these labels to change the way the bars are clustered. You can click this Show Me on the top right corner and change between bars, stacked bars, and side by side. And if you want to switch between horizontal bars and vertical columns, you can click Swap here. Alright, it makes sense because now you see the races displayed with different colors, but because we're comparing female and male more closely, we might want to differentiate the sex with colors. So let's drag sex to this marks card, which controls the color and styles of elements, and drop it on color. So that replaced the color for race, and now sex is differentiated by color. You can click color here and edit colors to set specific colors for these categories. You can drag the categories to reorder them, and similarly you can click click the categories you don't really want and exclude it. Now you might also want to combine these categories with very small numbers of cases. You can select all of them holding Shift as you click and click Group Numbers. Now they're grouped into one category, but the field name becomes very long. So you can right click and edit areas and just call it Other. It seems like the majority of that were whites, but keep in mind that this chart doesn't show the proportion of different races in the population, and it could mask the fact that COVID has impacted the African American community more severely. If we have the total numbers of white and African American populations in Georgia, we can compare the death rates by race and sex here. When you're satisfied with your chart, you can double click sheet 1 and give it a name.